Welcome everyone to Mission Mastery, Client Enrollment. We've gone through bioenergetics, the 5 types. We've gone through white, black shadow tantra. We've gone through bioenergetic process work. We've learned master mindset. We've learned hands-on healing moves, most importantly, the chelation. And wherever you go, you can blast from there. Two-handed healing move, great. So we've learned a lot in this master's class. You've mastered a lot by paying attention, by focusing, 90 to 95%. You can grade yourself now on your mission mastery and close out really nice. Here we get to the most important part of the whole thing, when we fuse that entire course line, that entire how to create form and function and process out of star medicine, which is what we've been doing with Yang medicine, into a focused course. We've talked about creating your course, the videos, the 8 to 10 weeks, the breakneck problem. It's about result, not the thing, not the process. And now we enroll people into their dreams. We hold their hand to go from the portal of fear to the portal of awesomeness, from limitation to joy, the portal you've gone through in this program that you've developed through certainty. And this is where you got to go through your own fears and step up into your own passions, your bigger self, the one that can hold a lot more light, a lot more riches, and help a lot more people to grow your garden and theirs through the light mission. And that's going to involve client enrollment. Our 2 lines, as we know, first one, Yang medicine, we learn to become the light with the star schematics, working with the most powerful ally available to us in the Milky Way. And we spread the light as a professional. So now we kick in the juice, we hit in the accelerator, we start having careers that let us star jump from Joshua Tree to Rome to Bali to that TED Talk to the national stage if you want. I'm always like, go big, follow your dreams. And sometimes you hide out from it and just help people individually. Maybe you do that your whole life. It's yours to choose. I just want to give you that baseline to do it all. So our mission today, once again, these are 4 things that are critical and don't have to be too complicated, really. So I'm going to skip through these and show you how to create an enrollment quick and easy. And you can do this within probably a couple days. Not the Facebook ad, that would take more time, but everything else you can just start doing now. You've got your Facebook group. Well, we'll get into that. Setting up for victory, client enrollment. Here we go. So you've done your Facebook group. It's a group that's very specific about the result. It's going to attract, that's unique. You're posting the agitate solves in there. You're inviting all your friends. You're posting to your warm network to check it out. Because the more people you get in there, the more you become the authority, the more you can PM them or send them a little breakthrough link to your Schedule 1 appointment, which we'll learn today. So you've got your Facebook group. That's where your unique place, your fishing pond for clients. And that's the great thing I love. I have 200 people in my Facebook group right now. I'm going to do an ad soon and get it up to 1,000, but you only need 2 or 3 or 4 awesome people. This isn't about horrible numbers where you need like 20 people because you're doing $100 a session. No, you can give those 3 people the laser surgery they deserve, the focus and the service, until you grow it bigger and create the foundation, pass things on. You could even have other people do your breakthrough calls as you create your light empire. That's fine. But that Facebook group gives you a place to do it. Communicating with all your warm networks. Be resourceful. You might be totally surprised. Yes, my Facebook. Yes, my Twitter, my Instagram, my personal email list. I start growing a MailChimp free email list. Meetup.com, doing online events until you get in trouble. I do that because they prefer offline more. Other Facebook groups that you're participating in and not being too spammy, but you can start inviting people over for cool events or something. Podcasts, writing articles, reaching out to people, I'm going to start taking my problem, agitate, solves for my Facebook group, put a little bit more in there, make it a little less salesy, and make them articles that just link to this stuff. Okay. And once again, the whole philosophy for communicating as you grow this is problem, agitate, solve. Show the cost, show what it does. Either the hell kind of version so they can really see where they're at in that, or the heaven, the glimpses of where they really want to go and getting them there. You agitate with the real cost of that, and then you solve it with, hey, do my program, and or when people do this. But don't give away band-aids, don't give away techniques, just give a hint at like what to do next, and then a step, an action step for them. PM me, put in the comments, write your own thing about how you feel about this. Have them take an action every time, at least with the Facebook group. All right, so that's our communicating with networks, and now we're in the foundation. It's kind of like a 4-step foundation for enlistment, enrollment. Schedule 1, setting up your calendar. Boy, do I love this quick little thing. It's a real juicy number. She's so easy to work with, always nice, very affordable price. Having been a media shaman activist dude for years, I can't believe how easy this stuff is. You know, as hard as you may think it is with your career, just have gratitude. We have computers and Google and video that works online. When I started out doing this stuff, we had none of it. So Schedule Ones is this amazing scheduler. And no, they don't pay me for this. I just love them. I've done other schedulers, and it's very simple to set up. You can set up, let's see here, configuration. You go to configuration, and it'll show you your booking pages. I have energy breakthrough calls, and you can set these up to integrate with your Google Calendar. It's very simple. You do this and follow the process, and then when you change things in your Google Calendar, it automatically goes to Schedule 1. So you don't even have to come back into the system, which is a little more complicated. You can just mark your calendar off when you have things you want to put in there, and it'll pay attention and get that. Never misses. Okay. The other thing I really wanted to show you here is, let me see. I always get a little confused. Okay, no. Calendar integration. Oh gosh, of course. Okay, here, we'll just do it this way. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. So the event types is I put a breakthrough call, associated calendars. This is the one like, oh, it's my, it connects with the Google I have. This is what I wanted to show you guys about Schedule Ones. There's a couple things. This recurring availability is like the most important thing, is you get to mark your schedule out of like when you want to do it, when you don't. And you see how I have it. This is a total sun surfer. Everything you see is in the afternoon. Like prime star hours, I work in the morning a lot, or I'll do rituals, and this is all my star hours. And then yeah, I'll work. I'll work to 8 o'clock because it's not as what I'm going to watch TV. I'd rather do a breakthrough call. So that's the Schedule Ones. It's really pretty easy. There is one more thing I want to see if I can show you here. It might take me a second to figure out. Oh, booking form and redirect. Yeah. This is where you put in what you want the booking form to say, and they have a template generally. It's pretty easy. But this thing is really important here. This is, you put it on automatic redirect, just on display the Schedule Ones confirmation page. I put for 0 seconds, always put 0, because what happens is this is a redirect link. They hit the Schedule Ones, they pick their time, and then it flicks to this Wufoo application form, which I'll show you next. And this is the link to the share of that application form. And if you have this like 5 seconds, they're never going to get that Wufoo. In fact, even with 0, a lot of times people don't wait, or there's even a little glitch. Usually it's this, they don't wait or they don't fill it out. And I will send them that Wufoo form link because I don't do breakthrough calls if they can't do that. You might choose to do that, but I really say I don't do it unless I can look at you and get really an idea of what they're going through first and foremost. So this link you'll see again, but this is schedule once. It's very affordable. It links up with your calendars. You get to set your time slots, like the time duration's 1 hour. Starting times like it's at 10:11, not 10:15, things like this, buffers between the classes. This is probably a good one to mention here, is only display the first 4 days with available time slots. I highly recommend that. I think anything more than 4, they lose track. They don't show up. 7, 8 days, forget it. They've lost it in their mind. Some people even say just make it 2 or 3, but I like a little bit of a stretcher, and I'll send them texts and messages in between because getting their phone number and email is essential for this. And with that follow-up, they usually make the calls. And a lot of mindset, too. You have to constantly working on your energy because they can feel that stuff. I don't know how. Well, of course we know how. That's what we do. Paula, do you have questions on Schedule Once, since we have you on the line?
I guess I would just have to download it and like really just kind of check it out. It seems pretty self-explanatory for now.
It really is. Just 3 things of note, or a couple things to note. 1, it will integrate with your calendar. 2, make sure to redirect it. And 3, probably don't do it more than 4 days.
Okay,
Like,
so 0 seconds is important and not more than 4 days are the two important
that's
things.
right, the
Okay.
booking redirect in the 4. Thanks. So thank you. Good ideas. Okay.
Thank you.
And so that's our schedule once, and that solves your appointment issues. And you send out one link that they give you, a share link, and you use it for your Facebook agitates. Hey, book an appointment with me. It goes to schedule once. They find their time that works best for them. They put in their phone number and email, and then they get clicked in that redirect that we saw, 0 seconds, as Paula was saying, to the Wufoo application. Let's talk about the philosophy of this before we go look at it. The point of this is to prepare people, shape the conversation ahead of time, prepare them for stepping up, a real commitment, a real accountability. They have been probably doing these half-assed programs and individual sessions and this or that therapist, and none of it's worked. Band-aids upon band-aids upon band-aids about some process. So we need to cut through the bullshit and give it a result. And to do that and have them start to rise up and be resourceful through whatever blocks that way. So it's to prepare them for that. Hey, this is a commitment. This is a master's thing that you're doing. This is real. You're a surgeon. You are qualified in a way no one else is on the planet. But it's all about them. It starts to help with objection handling, anything about financial stuff, which is usually a common one, or just the level of commitment. So it helps get them ready. Like, this is real. This is just not some stupid little thing. They're going to go through a life transformational process, truly, authentically. And it really gets you to learn about them and let guidance come in, downloads, ideas beforehand. You're going to be listening mostly. But I have stuff come in all the time about people who seem pretty good or not good or this or that, the right fit. Because you're going to be testing them. Not everyone's invited into your program. Not everyone's right for this stuff. You'll find you'll need to say no too. So make sure to let they know this is not a sales call. This is an enlistment call or enrollment. I invite you into my program, right? You invite them into your program. They don't invite themselves. So you learn about them to see if they're a right fit. And you're going to ask questions about that. So let's look at the Wufoo application. Now, just again, we did the schedule once. They fill it out. They get on your calendar. It goes into your email and theirs. You can even set up for reminders, which I think is good. You can set up a reminder email and what that is shaped like. It's really cool. And then once it redirects, it sends them to Wufoo, which once again, I think this is an amazing little simple technology that thank God someone had the time to do it. This is a Wufoo application form. And You go in, you sign up. It's free actually. If you do just one form, you can have it. I think as many people as you want per month. So if you have multiple classes or multiple forms, you might have to pay for it. But if you just have one form, like I do, for the whole school, I don't think you need to do it. Pricing is very, it's free for now, but you could do the pro prices in that. They have themes to make the forms. I haven't really played with the themes, probably should make it aesthetically nice. They'll give you reports. You get to see over here the entries. Like, so I have 37 going on this month. Um, Forms. This is what we want to look at. So I want to show you this form. And if you remember, we had these things of like preparing them, um, creating a level of commitment, understanding that this is going to be a financial commitment too. They'll need to be resourceful. They'll need to step up to new levels of who they are, and also to learn about what their problems are so you can ask. So here we go. It's so simple. Over here, you can choose as a single text, um, like name. I think they even have that, like name. There you go, name, boom. Paragraph text, which is this one, multiple choice, which you'll see. You can have check boxes. I put the check boxes on the things that are cool instead of lame. Drop down stuff, and you fill that out. But you'll see how I do it. I keep it pretty simple. Simplicity goes really far. So your energy mastery breakthrough session. Don't copy me. Do your own. Don't call it a breakthrough session. Create your cool words. Don't call it energy mastery. Call it your thing. Don't call it bioenergetics. Make this your thing. Make it your name, your brand. But give it something cool like that. It's a session. It's free. But they're going to get something major out of it. In fact, they should get the best call on healing of their entire lives, right? That's what this is about, being a service in that way. So name, best email address, phone number to reach you at. You're welcome to go back and look at this. Obviously, these things you don't have to put in your own words, but some of this you are, like this next one. What are your biggest healing blocks and concerns? What are your biggest challenges in this? Write it your way. Describe any mental, energetic, physical health issues. You can see it. I'm problem agitating, and then we're going to solve it. How long has it been going on? That's the agitate. And what's been the personal cost? Please be thorough. So I get a lot of like the cost and the breakneck problem there. What do you currently do for a living? That's a pain point for a lot of people, or a point of future joy. What would you like to make per month? Because I want to get them start think of a different model of what a healer could be if they want that for yang medicine. Now, people do just come to me a lot for healing and not certification. So you could also put are in your career in general. Like I said, I'm going a little wide. I recommend people with their breakneck problems do a little more narrow than like yang medicine certification. And, don't copy that anyway. Like heal depression, or we're just talking to Paula about maybe overcome shyness in 90 days, that kind of thing. Oh, so, and then we know also what they do. We have a clarity on their life a little bit. I'll ask about family and stuff on the call. Would you be willing to spend at least a few hours per week in the sun for significant healing results? You'll probably need something like this, or supplemental light, Yes, give me that Star and Light minute. Everyone puts that. And you can see I put the default there. No, I can't make the effort. And then I give a middle ground. Maybe, tell me more. You can have your own version of that, rewrite it, do something cool, have something totally different. And, these are mine. You can decide what you need to say. This is to qualify people, to get them ready. If you're a woman that's like getting them in their witchy self, hey, are you willing to get into your woo-woo side? A tantric person, are you willing to get into your pelvic power? You might have your own qualifiers. So I'm a person who, I highly suggest something like this. And once again, put it in your own words, your own qualifications, but you can follow this formula. Don't copy the text, follow the formula. I'm a person who commits and steps up to challenges in order to accomplish my dreams, is willing to learn to step up to challenges and commit to my dreams. And we're qualifying, we're getting them ready for something real and deeper and bigger. It's easier to sell a high-ticket course than a one-on-one session that's not going to work, because they know this is of value. Prefers to kick the tires here and there, but doesn't like to follow through on things. So that's kind of a big qualifier, and a lot of people are like that. You're going to find that. You're not going to be able to convince everyone on an enlistment call. They're not ready. They're kicking tires. Right now, I have the financial resources. Something like this is critical. This is our financial qualification. This is like commitment qualification, financial. Right now, I have the financial resources to invest in my healing and advanced training. Isn't it nice when people say that? This one's good too. Have access to financial resources to invest in healing and advanced training. Love to see that. It shows they're resourceful. And that's the biggest first block for a lot of people to get to mastery. They get that, they get into enrollment. All they have to do is finish it out. They're going to get results, right? So this is kind of the thing they got to move through. Be resourceful. So something about having access to, write this in your own way, but you get it. Don't write in healing and advanced training. Your words. Do not have access to financial resources and happy to stay right here where I am. Well, I will usually take these calls because, man, people who don't have resources, when they suddenly see the breakneck problems, like their teeth are falling out energetically, they might just get that surgery. But if I go over the whole thing and it's just a nightmare, I might just write them back and say, eh. But generally speaking, I will do the ones that say do not have access. And I suggest in the beginning maybe doing that more than less, just so you get practice with these breakthrough calls. Look, it may take you 10 calls to make your one sale. That's fine. Enlistment, we should even say, because you'll make more out that than 10 sales. That said, I just started following this process and I made a sale within 3 or 4 calls because it works, but we'll get into that later. But this is the setup for it. You need to prepare them. They're not coming into this cold fish, cold crowd, And something like this is really cool. Johnny will call you at the time you choose. And I even started qualifying this even more. You'll see. His time is very limited. Please commit to your appointment by typing this sentence. Because I was getting people not. Yes, I promise I will answer the phone for my breakthrough session when Johnny calls. But that wasn't enough because I call from Skype because of practical reasons of travel. Note, the number may show up as unknown, aka Skype. Make sure to be in a private space for the call. So I noticed people weren't picking up because they thought it was sales or telemarketing, even though, it was at the appointed time. And I also noticed that sometimes it'd be like in the back of a car with other people for a call to change their lives. So then I put in make sure to be in a private space. You can put your own things in there, but the more I do this process, the more I put in qualifiers. The more I get one client that's like, man, that sucked, I'll put in more, and then I get more awesome people in. And you'll learn how to do that for yourself. And then I like something like this. Find your own way to do this. There's a million ways, or you could put in more of a significant question, but I want to lighten it up too. From a scale from 1 to Rey, Luke Skywalker, I like to be gender, like neutral, not just say Luke or Rey, And I get men and women in my program. How ready and committed are you to be an energy Jedi? For some, it's like totally, they're into that energy mastery. Others are like, I just want to heal my depression. And that's fine too. As long as they're ready to commit, step up, and go through what it takes to be resourceful to enroll. But that's our Wufoo form. And man, does this just set people up and get them prepared. They set up a schedule. You look professional. This is like the kind of application form you do for these things. It's, this is really our intake form. And then we'll do the bioenergetic process work we've been talking about so much on the call. Paula, let's check in because you're about to maybe go on this mission. Do you have questions about Wufoo? And I have a question for you.
I don't have a question.
I think she's eating right now.
I am eating. I don't really have a question about it.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What would be a qualifier you would put in uniquely for you?
I guess like something about are you something about the kicking the tires part. Like are you really do you feel like you're ready to really go for it? Something along those lines.
I love that. I think I might put more of that. Are you really ready to just go for it? Like something that's extreme. I also think you could put something about from 1 to 100, how much do you want to really feel the magic?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Because she's been talking about doing something around bring back the magic because Paula's just so damn magical. And a lot of people are working through that. Now, could you share with everyone what we talked about before this kind of training about what I thought one of your huge breakthrough problems was for people, including myself, breakneck?
Um, I
Excuse me, shyness.
was gonna say shyness, but then I was like, wait, was this something before we talked about today? Or I was like trying to think back more.
I know. Yeah, I meant just today. Yeah, shyness.
Yeah, shyness, overcoming shyness.
Overcoming shyness. Well, we'll get to that too in the breakthrough calls. So that makes pretty much sense, the Wufoo farm, right?
Yep, yeah, the Wufoo form, all this stuff seems like if when I look more into it, but it'll make more sense. But it all seems pretty user friendly and doable.
Yeah, yours could be you're getting the magic, find the magic session, or something like that. Energy magic. Everyone can, but this is it. This is the process. Pretty freaking simple. Let's go back to this. And so we did the schedule once, calendar. We did Wufoo. From there, you have your problem agitate solves, so you can start selling, getting enlisting now. Once I show you how to do the breakthrough call process, the enrollment process through calling, but before we do that, I do want to show you one more way to get people. And this I think is actually going to be critical once you start getting a few sales in. And it's the Facebook group ad. Keep inviting people to the group from your personal page. Do that from other Facebook groups. You can invite people in for really cool Facebook lives. Paula and I just did a great, it's called Be Live. I wanted to tell you guys about this anyways. It's a split screen where you can interview people. So you can interview people with results that are freaking kick-ass in your program. So they are the shining light for your program for you, and you're not talking all the time. Paula did a great one of bring back how to get out of a rut and bring back the magic in 90 days. So you get the problem and you get the result. So keep doing that and bring people in, but eventually get a couple sales. And I'd say probably put in about $20 a day once you get this growing, and you'll start getting results. And get people, target things like, if you're at depression, target that, or 45-year-olds, or this part of the country. You can target your ad to whatever people are into. Oh, they want more vitality, or this person's into that. You can target all sorts of things and have it bring people into your group. I suggest like $20 a day. And once you start making enrollments, maybe for you now, that's no big deal. But once you start making a couple sales, there you go. I'd say invest in yourself. And this is what a good Facebook ad looks like. This is my partner, Claudia, and I just think she's kind of the best of the best when it comes to this. So she just does the problem agitate solve. I'll read it. It looks a little blurry maybe. Are you a single professional woman with a burning desire to create an epic, legendary romance in your life? The kind that most people, maybe even you, don't believe in anymore. So it's got who it's for: single professional women. You want to have, hey, this is for men doing young medicine. This is for women. This is for people with depression. This is for people wanting peak performance. And a burning desire, and then that result, epic, legendary romance. She teaches how to find your dream partner. So you can imagine doing something like this through young. Oh, you power up and help people with relationships. You power up and help people with, I hope someone does cancer sometime, honestly. Hormone issues, creativity blocks, whatever, success. And then she says, I hear you, sister. So that creates this vulnerability and connection. Are you a single woman looking you don't believe in anymore? So it's got that huge cost. And I know how hard it can be when you're the kind of gal who aches for fairy tale love, who yearns to have her king by her side. But out in the real world, the only men who seem to come across are frogs. So her brand is this ecstatically ever after. And you can see her look, it's very sharp. She teaches Tantra and using the power of sensual energy to manifest what you want. So Claudia here, she starts off with who it's for, what the result is, and then she gets into the problem, and there's all these frogs. Let's face it. And then she's going to myth bust the current world. The online dating world can be a total nightmare with creepers, ghosters, and liars in short supply. See, she's seeing their life and being in there like we've been talking about. And you'll do that in the breakthrough calls. But I promise your beloved king is out there. You just need to know how to find him. Result. That's why I've created this free, so you can follow her formula. Don't follow the content, don't follow that, but this formula. And man, she gets so many people in her group. She gets so many people enlisted through being an authority in her group, and it doesn't cost her very much. This is high-end Facebook ads. And once again, we use group because Facebook's changed their logarithms. That's why I've created this free Facebook group for extraordinary women. See, and it's lifting them who are ready to get out of online dating hell for good and try something radically different to attract true love in their lives. Good result. I share daily tips, strategies, and wisdom, gets you interested at like value, extreme value, that will help you feel like a total bombshell queen. Fun result in your life. So you can become irresistibly magnetic to high quality men and attract the epic love you desire. And the action is to join the group. So it's pretty much a problem agitate solve. It has who it's for, single professional women, very specific result, looking for a legendary romance. Connection, I hear you, sister. Vulnerability there too. And I know how hard it can be. And then she gets into the frogs in the problem. Let's face it, then she misbusts the current world. Let's face it, healing isn't getting people anywhere. Therapy is not working. Veterans aren't getting helped. Whatever you got. But I promise your beloved king, this is the extreme result. That's why I've created this free group. And it's for extraordinary women, lifting them up for the result. And then it's and then you get these strategies and good things if you join. And once again, she ends with result. It's a really great problem agitate solve with fantastic branding. Here's her great group name, Ecstatically Ever After. Although this is from her Facebook page. You actually have to create a fan page for your company to create Facebook ads. So just make sure you do that. Do your group, but when you do your Facebook ad, you've got to create your page. And her group is like how to magnetize men with your feminine superpowers. And it's super popular. How to overcome depression and find joy, those things, true joy in 90 days or something. So that's how she did it. And I suggest doing just like this. Usually focus more on the positive, because if you're really negative, Facebook will ban you. So make it this one a little more positive, okay? Just advice from someone that's been researching and studying this for a while now. And that's how we do it. Paula, can I check in again? Do you have any questions about this? You will find this in the our Yang Medicine Dropbox folder. If you're creating an ad, just follow that kind of formula of who it's for, result, problem, result, and what you get in the group.
Yeah, this seems like a good thing to do.
Totally. You seem like you'd have fun finding a hot image, something like something that looks successful, right?
Yes. And I like how specific it is.
Claudia's writing is so specific. She's so good at that. Oh, man, I learn from the master. And that's it, guys, your Facebook group. So really we've done a few things. You have your warm network, which is all your friends, all your Facebook lists, all that. You have your cold network, which is the Facebook group you're creating. You have your schedule once, so people can actually book with you through those avenues. You put that link for the schedule once when you're agitating and things. They hit that link from an email, from the group post you do from the Facebook Live. They go schedule, they get booked, they get redirected to the Wufoo form, which we saw. We do all this qualifying, getting them ready and learning. You can do a Facebook group ad after you make a few sales, or if you have money now, throw it down. But maybe you get started a little bit. And keep getting people in there. Keep doing it. It's amazing how 200 people, the right 200 people, give you results, 300, 400, 500 over, I don't know. I do articles in a lot of places that don't get me the same things as my Facebook group ad in my Facebook group. So that's how to do that. You can go back over and review these. And you'll also find Claudia's excellent ad, but please, you got to read a copy in the folder if you'd like to review the formula. And now we're going to do enlistment calls. Now, this is where a lot of people have the big fears, and don't worry, you'll get there. So, the art of connection. The enlistment advantage, the enlistment advantage, if you don't do this, let's just take a minute pause. Neighbors are taking a minute pause just to clear some noise. Paula, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So the enlistment advantage is if you don't do this, you're going to be like everyone else. You're not going to know how to do a break enlistment call. You're not going to have a formula. You're going to be rudderless and not get people to cross that portal of fear to their dreams. They're resilient to sales. They've been sold a bunch of crap their whole lives, stuff that doesn't work, things that buyers regret, and that you'll fall into that. But if you do this, you'll have a killer formula to follow. You relax into the bioenergetic process that this naturally is. You will listen and learn about a lot of people. You will gain that certainty that you're gaining in the sun in your professional career. And you will have that certainty in that surgeon model to help people through. And you'll be able to help them through their objections. So let's show how to do it. The 5 C's, certainty. Number 1, courage, compassion. We'll use a lot of that. Curiosity. You got to be super curious and ask questions and listen. Ask questions and listen. And confidence. Our components of the call, and we'll go through all of this, it's intention and connection.
Your vocals are kind of wavering.
Oh boy.
It started on when you were talking about the 5 C's. You were going in and out.
Okay. Hey guys, can you keep it just a little down in there? I'm just doing a video training. I'm at this really cute Airbnb, guys, so apologies. This is par for the course. Sometimes you got neighbors next door when you're traveling around. Paula,
it wasn't your neighbors I was hearing. It was just the vocals, like as if when you were on a cell phone call and it sounded like the voice was kind of going in and out. So when you were talking,
it's because I went outside because there was a little.
Oh, okay. So that was when you were talking about the 5 C's. So I don't know if you want to go back and start from that point.
And let's just realign here. Okay.
Okay.
So, and sometimes it's good to take a little break there, guys. We just
sure.
I actually kind of like the natural pause that created. The 5 C's for enlistment calls: certainty, courage, compassion, curiosity, and confidence, right? Compassion is going to be key. Curiosity is going to be key. You got to listen, ask questions, wait. And then certainty is that frequency we hold through the whole thing. And that's how we be of service for people, that they actually step through that portal. Components of the call: intention and connection. You unearth the problem. We size them up. We sell the result, and we do objection handling when as appropriate. And then we seal the magics. They go home like in this containment of that new life. So let's go through all of those right now. Intention. I think intention's held all day, all the time. Just hold that intention of being a light warrior, the warriors of service, professional. Just how many people are you going to serve? How many are you going to help in this life? How great do you want to be and help them be? And when you, before getting on that call, really set that mindset, set that intention. Allow yourself to feel all the glory, richness of the energies of you guys transforming and lifting together as a team. So create that intention beforehand. Energy is everything. You build that energy up, the rest of it's easy. And then we need connection. We need to not just jump into, oh, right, what's the problem or this? Although some people do that, like real problem-oriented people. And sometimes I just let them do it. All right, we're connected. They want to go there. But I usually like to, the way I create connection is through rapport. And I have one simple way I really do it. Sometimes on the Wufoo forum, there's something I find really interesting. I'll just ask a personal question about it, or hey, man. But usually I'll just You get their phone number, or you even have their location in the application form. But I look at the phone number of where they call from and see where they're at and ask them about, oh, I saw that digit was this place. And it's usually someplace I've visited or I'm interested in, or da. And I'll ask them questions. Even if they're not from there, they will like have something to say about that because they were obviously there at some point. And that's how I create connections. So it's not just about like, hey, let's sell this or see, it's not force so much. Yeah, and you really need to set that connection before you go forward. If you don't, the whole call falls apart. It's amazing. I have had a couple calls where I didn't get connection, didn't get rapport. It really did not work out. It's okay too, man. You'll probably have a call or two where you learn a few lessons. Each time you do a call, just say 3 things I did right, or 3 things I did well, 3 things I can improve on. So we started with intention, then we created some connection, some rapport, and then you unearth the problem. This is pretty simple, and this will take the majority of the time. Ask important questions about blocks and challenges, cost, health, mental, physical, life. You go in, what's your biggest challenge? Okay, well, how does it feel like that? How is that affecting your family? And you just start spiraling out and seeing the cost, and write down notes as they say these things, because you'll use them as you kind of sell the result. So you ask more and you listen. You're curious and compassionate. You understand the total cost, present, past, future. How long has it been? Oh, it goes back since you were 7. How has that affected your life, in career, in relationships, in finances, in health, in mental health? Oh, your family, do you guys have an issue with this disease, this problem going back? How many generations, Do you want to create that change in the future line right now? A new legacy, They need to see the real problem. People kind of they really don't always see where they're really at. They need to see the real problem, and usually the real dream, the real result to enlist. And then I follow dreams and desires. I love to ask them, okay, your core energy is like revving at 90, 95 finally. We finally put in I invite you to the program. Notice that? I invite you to the program. And we get this result. What is your life like? What are you doing? And I write that down. Where are you traveling, getting a lot of good sun? So you unearth the problem. Intention, connection, unearth the problem. Maintain the core surgeon frame. You're not a little gut person doing this or that. You're the core surgeon. We're going deep. Keep the authority. Keep the compassion. Listen. Don't give little band-aids. Don't jump in. Don't let them give suggestions, or don't let them take over the call. Ask them like a core surgeon, so you're basically getting down the diagnosis. And I'd say unearth the problem. Gosh, I usually do it for at least a half hour, but you could do it 20 minutes, 20, 30, sometimes it's 40 minutes. And then I size them up. But I used to go like hour, hour and 15. I don't do that anymore. I keep the calls down. People sometimes like to go on. So you have your list of qualifiers, like size them up. Are you resourceful? Are you committed? From 1 to 100, how committed are you to this? Are you an accountable person? You can start figuring out what your command. I really suggest resourceful, because if they financial object, you say, well, I thought you were resourceful. And what we find is people who don't have finances, a lot of people in this program feel that at first, and then they're resourceful and they find a way. Can you spend time in the sun if it means results? Stuff like that. Or like if it involves tantra, hey, are you open for some, to learn tantra in a safe way, or this or that? But so you size them up with your qualifiers. You're figuring out if they're right for this program. Are you really resourceful? From 1 to 10, how much are you just absolutely have to fix it? Do that next level now. If it's a 7, maybe they're not the right person. And then once you do that, you sell the result. You recap. Did I get that right? What did I get right? The unearthed part. So we started with intention. We got rapport and connection. We unearthed the problem for most of this. We asked a few qualifying questions to see if they're right. And that also shows that we're just not anybody's date. We don't just go out with anybody. You have to fit our criteria. We're not going to send you to Mount Everest of star mastery if you can't even get in the helicopter, you know? So you're sizing them up. Have that frame. I often do have not a core surgeon frame, but I also kind of have, all right, we're hella skiing to freaking Mount Mastery frame. You can have your own frames around that. You size them up, disqualify that, and when you sell the result, you go back to unearth the problem, and you just read back. Okay, so let me get this right. Let me recap. Okay, so you're feeling this way. You're 27 years old. Things are going right in business, but you just had this mind problem for years. It goes back to your family. You see it affecting your wife. You see that this is and you just kind of go through that thing in a minute or two, maybe three. But make it a little quick. I would sometimes take too long and not get, okay. And then you just say, after you read through that some in your notes that you took, like really important stuff, great. If so, and they're the right fit for you and they fit the qualifiers, did I get that right? And you go through those things, great. If so, I'm 100% positive that we can get that result. And here's how. And then you describe the basics of the program. We do this incredible medicine. I give you all the accountability. We have one-on-one calls. We're going to work in this way that no one else does. And we get you that result in this amount of time, or at least on the road to absolutely, on that road to it. And I actually wait on the price though, and I'll show you. And then later you'll say it's only for this price, but that's how you do it. You recapped it. Okay, so let me get this right. Do you mind if I recap here? You're feeling this way, da 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 da. It's all the unearth the problem stuff. And then you say, did I get that right? And they say, yes. They always say yes. They're amazed that you listened and learned so much. And you say, great. They're the right fit. If so, I'm 100% positive we can get that result. I'm 100% confident. I'm confident we can get that result. Sometimes I don't say 100% if I'm not. And here's how. And then you describe the result given the basics of your program. Best trainings, leading it, It's not so much about every detail about the program. They really want the result, but they do want to know some. And having clarity around that's good. Objection handling. Now, the biggest objection you'll probably get once you say, okay, do you have any more questions? No. And they'll say usually, oh, what's the price? Sometimes they'll ask what the price is at the beginning. Do not answer that. Say, well, I have a process. We'll get into it. And if I invite you to the program, we'll discuss price options or that, And anytime you can drop, if I invite you in the program, especially when they're if they're doing something that you usually feel it's kind of like trying to jump out of the wave or something. All right. For that, and then you say, so here's the basics of the program. Any more questions? Yes. What's the price? Well, I always say the value of it's like this. I think it's worth $50,000 of energy healing. I put over $50,000 in my training, 10,000 just in energy schools alone. And you're going to get all this and more in a master streamlined program that gets you the results. We get you enlightened. We get you out on your mission to the best of our ability in 90 days. So you can have your version of that. And then there's different price points. You could say, and I'll get to that when we get in the script. Objection handling. If the price is high for them, and that's quite often an objection for people, but sometimes it's time and other things. So this is what I always do, and it's always kind of like a magical, whoa, wait, see things in a different way. Okay, and I always say their name. Okay, Karen. Okay, Karen, just a question, and I need to know this anyways. If this were free, would you do it? And they're always surprised. Well, oh yeah, of course I do it for free. And then I said, well, no, I don't know that because it's a 90-day show up and get results and they have accountability thing. For a lot of people, it's not. It's a space or a time thing. You would do this. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then I said, great. If that's the case, then let's get on the same side of the table. And I'll show you how others in similar situations as you have done this. And it's often not such a big deal as we think. And these are ways I tell them that we could do it. A lot of people use diverse credit cards, sometimes 1, 2, or 3. I use a platform called Stripe, STRIPE.com. I think .com, Stripe payment plan over PayPal. I think it's a little easier. And you can just take credit cards right there. One doesn't go through, say, oh, don't worry, that happens to other people. It does. It happens to everybody. And then, sometimes it's just a thing, and then you just try the other ones. Often PayPal credit doesn't charge for 6 months. So people will do that. And you can stay on the call and say, here, I'll send you a link, apply now. And they do. I like to go through it if they're serious on the call, because I offer, usually it's like something like, oh, it's 5,000 day, generally. But for people that just pay on the spot, I have a half price thing, or you could split it into 2 payments of 1,500, so that's a 3,000 deal. So they can do split payments. Friend, family, or someone who believes in you. This is huge too. A lot of people are like, yeah, I just got to call my mom. Oh, I got to help that friend that owes me money. Oh yeah, there's ways. There's so many ways. There's loans for educational things out there. But usually I find with credit card, PayPal, and a family friend, they'll find a way if they really want to. Now, and I also tell them, if they're worried about the cost and stuff, there's a difference between investment and consumer debt. Consumer debt's a bunch of that crap that you get that doesn't matter and, lessens your bank account. In this investment really creates change. It's something where you go in, you get this result, and life's different. You're doing, like, this program's an investment. You go in, you can come out with really a career if you want, but also just your revivified health. And I always tell them resourcefulness is a requirement for this work anyway. So, and if they say yes, that you get a payment, or they're gonna, then you seal the magic. Or if they say, I'm gonna get back to you, and sometimes they do, but I really like to see if I can get the enlistment on the call if it feels right. And then you say, great. So what I want you to do is write a few lines, 5 to 10 lines, of just how awesome it feels with those core results that we get. We get you up there. Yours is like, now that you're supreme goddess, now that you're this, I want you to write what that life looks like, what it feels like, what it tastes like, and read that every morning so no one else can take that dream away, because they're not going to get it like others that believe in this stuff. Read it every day, and until we, have our first training, or until we talk on Saturday. And I always end with that, sealing the magic, okay? And that's how we do it. Intention and connection. So you have your intent, you create rapport. You unearth the problem, you go deep into it. That's the majority of the call. You size them up, you ask qualifying questions on your end for your program and for enlistment. You may choose that they're not the right program. No, it just doesn't sound right. Yeah, maybe down the road, reach out to me. That's cool. But, a lot of people will be like, okay, I can invite you in after you do this. And you sell the result by recapping. Okay, so you're feeling this. This is hanging on, da, 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 da. Is that correct? Yes, they say. Great. If that's so, then I'm 100% confident we can do this because of what this medicine does. It gives this result, and you explain a little bit about your program and why it gives results. If they have a financial objection, oh, okay, well, let me ask you a question. If this were for free, would you do it? Yes. Oh, okay, well, great. Because, if that's the case, and then you get on the same side of the table with them and you give those options that I just mentioned, they sign up or they've scheduled for a meeting next time, I always create a next action where I'm going to connect. And then you seal the deal with having them essentially write what's your mastery mission statement, reading it. And then when you meet, that's the first thing I always have them read, because it really taps them back into the dream and the light and the magic. And that's how we do an enlistment call better than anyone else. Just the fact that you know this process gives you a huge advantage. And I will have this, which is basically a script for it: rapport, connect, and you uncover the problem, unearth the problem, okay, ask all these questions, you fill this in. This is where all my notes go. You size up, you can see me. Here I am. Do you want enlightenment? Are you interested in your light mission? Like, I need to know that. Do you want to be an energy warrior? Are you more like CO guy doing the thing over there? Are you resourceful in all situations? I always put that. Or are you resourceful? This is a master's course that involves a little bit of tantra, nothing too racy, but are you willing to at least go there a little bit into pleasure? And I ask these things. So you can ask that, and then you see my sell the solution. I recap. Let me recap. Okay, so you're feeling this and this, and you want this. Great. If that's the case, I'm 100% certain we can solve all these problems. And I say that because da 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 da, and I give off the program. And then later on, I say, do you have any questions for me? It's really amazing what we're talking. This is me just kind of selling it, but do you know how much it is? Do you have something to write with? And my any day price is 5,000. For people like you who are committed and ready, I go ahead and take off half and do $2,500 deposit, like full payment, or split for 3,000 if they do it on the spot, and it just makes my life easier too. And a lot of times they just do that. Sometimes they need to think about it, and you working with that. And I always do these things like I'm in, subconscious things. So I'm not thinking in my fear, but like I'm totally in. So they're excited about this new life and that. So it's an enlistment call. It's a little salesy, but it's not too bad. And if you just follow this formula of like connection, intention, connection, unearth the problem, you recap it, you sell the solution, you objection handle some, and then you seal the magic with their mastery mission statement. It usually goes way better than any other calls I've done. So follow the formula. I'll have a really refined enlistment sheet in our Young Medicine Dropbox folder, so you can also look there. And that's your enlistment script. Now, Paula, can I check in on this one? That's your list.
Yes.
Okay. Questions?
Comments? I mean, I don't really have any questions. That seems pretty clear. If they say they can't do it financially, then you try to get them to understand that they have other resources. Ask them if they would do it for free. And then if they're really into it, then you talk about different ways that they can finance it. See if they're willing to make the commitment. Put that out there. Are you willing to be in the sun? Are you willing to go tantric? Things like that. And the connection seems to be the most important.
Right. You can't do it without the connection in the beginning.
Yes.
What a wonderful recap. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you just do this, don't stress. Folks can get really worked up about these calls. Just relax, enjoy the ride. Sit in your bioenergetic process stance of victory and listen and ask questions. Connection, intention, connection, unearth, and you just go there and listen. Go there and listen. You might notice they're a masochist, a schizoid. Use your intuition, use your guidance, just ask questions, but don't coach. Don't give like solutions. A lot of people fall into that and never get the sale because they're putting band-aids on. Let them go in it, let them see what they want, the results. You're just getting the diagnosis for the program in full course surgery or whatever the upgrade is. All right, you unearth it, you recap it, you sell the solution, and then you seal the magic. You have them write their mission statement as like a thing to continue on and continue that work. And I like follow-ups and texts and stuff. And that's your enlistment script. So we did a lot today, guys. Thank you for your patience. We had a little pause for station identification, but I thought that was good for having a breather. We did our missions today. There was a lot, and this is critical for Light Warrior career. These 4 things, this is our enlistment process. We do a calendar with Schedule Once. Super easy, totally affordable. Thank you, Schedule Once. We redirect after they finish that to the client application form, which prepares them, shows us what's going on with them, and also starts qualifying them and showing them that this is something special, qualifying financially, commitment-wise, these things. And you're the core surgeon through all of this. You need to decide what works best for you in your program. Now, eventually, after you've sold some, you've done some enlistment calls, a Facebook ad is great. We have Claudius as an excellent example of that, of great problem, agitate, solve with a link to action. Join the group. And from there, you start doing your problem, agitate, solves that we talked about in communicating with your networks with that link to Schedule Once to get them on the application form to get an enlistment call. That's it. Now, it's not really that much. I see people spend 6 months, a year on websites before they get started. We don't even need a website for this. Isn't that incredible? You really don't need much. A Schedule Once calendar, a Facebook group, and a client application form. Eventually a Facebook ad. Pretty good. And then we did how to do an enlistment call. Now you know the formula. Intention, connection, unearth, and then you go over it again and you set, like, kind of, let me recap. You sell the solution, sell the result, and then you seal the magic with the mastery mission that they do. And that's it. Schedule one, application form, ad, and enlistment call. Real key secret ingredients to your career. Light warriordom. I use this. You see me use it all the time. It's probably how you got on here. And so learn these structures. We've done a lot of energy, and it's energy first. And these few things can really do a lot. Simple structures to let your energy do the work for you. Upcoming Young Medicine, we've got Advanced Star Schematic 6. It's like, the Age of Enlightenment, the healing genius. This is going to be a really great Mozart-y thing. So O'Keeffe comes alive within you. So show up and pay attention as that comes up. And we're going to do our graduation victories. We're going to have a 90-day look back and accountability and celebration and all of these things to get you. We've got you in the nest and to get you shooting out. And once again, like this formula is really great for your high premium program. So I hope you appreciate this process. It took me years to learn it, and man, has this been way more successful than the other stuff. So, there was a lot today. Congratulate yourself. You have finished Mission Mastery. We have learned so much in these courses, a streamlined course of bioenergetics, shadow work, tantra work, dream therapy, and the rest. Now we've learned high ticket courses, we've learned to communicate, and we've even learned how to enroll people. You're ready, you are ready, you are ready. So celebrate, count your victories. Every breakthrough call, say 3 things you did well, 3 things to improve on, and let it go, and enroll more people into their dreams. As you cross more through your portal of fear and into the finish line and through up the mountain, they will come and join you. Help those people. And, I just encourage you to be of service of the world. It takes courage, compassion, curiosity, certainty, confidence. And I just want to congratulate all of you for gaining more and more of that as we've gone on this journey of mission mastery. Thank you as we close this program, this section of it, and I will see you for the final Yang Medicine training. So be prepared for Star Schematic 6 and that next wave. God bless, and see you on Mount Mastery.